I'm joined now by Curt Harler from Cleveland. He's the Executive Vice President of the National Speleological Society. Curt, thanks for coming back on our program. In your opinion, how has this operation, this rescue operation, gone so far?
It has been amazingly successful. It's wonderful news on the ground. They're even getting a little bit of cooperation from the weather. It's been mercifully light rain or no rain, which is a big help with the pumping operations. And it's just great news that the 8 of the boys are out. But unlike a soccer or football match, this isn't a deal where 1 or 2 can score and the team wins. We're still hopeful and very optimistic that the entire team will be removed along with their coach.
How do you think they're determining which boys go first? What exactly goes into that decision-making process? How are they deciding that? Who goes first, who goes last?
There are 2 factors that I'm sure that the divers on the site are considering, and I wouldn't try to second guess them in either case, but the first is the ones that are most fit and able and familiar with swimming, and the second is those that are in desperate need of being removed. And that becomes a call from the rescue leader on the site as to which would go first, which need to be removed, or which can give a positive proof of concept and get out of the cave quickly and with minimum hassle.
So does that mean the ones that are left, the 4 boys and their coach, are perhaps in the most precarious situation?
I don't think that is necessarily true. It could be that the decision was made to take out the people with the gravest medical concerns and then go with the healthier ones who could hang in there for a little bit longer. Again, that's a decision that's being made in the cave by the SEAL team and their medical staff, so it's not something we can second guess.
And what do you make of the fact that the families are not being told the identity of the boys who've been rescued so far?
I think they're doing that first to protect the families themselves somewhat. Again, this is a team that needs to be seen as a unit, and they don't want to get anyone overly anxious, and they don't want to get anyone overly optimistic that their boy is in the clear, because again, several of these fellows have been taken to hospital for further examination, and my understanding is that in a couple of the cases they still have residual health effects, both from the malnutrition, from the dehydration, from utter exhaustion.
And you know, getting these boys safely out of the cave involves so many things, like climbing at times through these narrow passages in the dark with heavy equipment. From the start to the end, how long do you think this process takes? And do you think they switch divers, 1 diver for every child, and that diver probably does not go back and they go to a different diver because of the exhaustion level?
What I have been told is they actually have 2 divers for every child. There's 1 diver who actually does the diving and has the boy tethered to him. There's a 2nd diver that brings the oxygen tanks that are required to get them out. Remember, this is like swimming through a P-trap in your sink. And it's very tight, it's dark, it's narrow. They need all the help, the professional help they can get as they try to remove these boys through the sumps that they need to get out of to get to safety.
And I know you're not a psychologist, but are you concerned about these boys and their mental health and their post-traumatic stress once this ordeal is over?
I am concerned. I think that the most likelihood is that they're being treated in the cave as an optimistic and upbeat type of thing, as an adventure. This started out as an adventure. I think that they are probably being told that this is an exciting deal. Again, any 14-year-old boy would love to be hanging out with some Navy SEALs. It is a desperate situation, but if you can keep the boys from seeing it as something that is tough, it'll be easier both on them and on the rescuers.
Good point. Curt Harler, thank you, sir.